Hi, this is Little Dwarf playing games while rambling incoherently into a microphone. Why? Well, just because I can. And I continue with Tyranny, blind. Now, I found a Reef-Talon, but before I go back with her to the village, I want to look around for the other parts of Lekseme's Chronicle. Because I'm not sure if after I leave, what will happen with Lekseme, or how the situation with Reef-Talon will develop. So, I haven't found any part on this level, so it might be here, because I don't think, this didn't open. Okay, great.
Another battle! I'm starting to think we're bad at making friends.
Should have seen that one coming.
That's how it's done! I got it. Can't do that.
Okay, so unfortunately for me, it isn't here.
Can't do that.
Okay, there's still this, which maybe if I exchange the torch key here. Okay.
Can't do that. Can't do that. I got it. If I had kids, they'd be feeling that one.
Oh, if I had an iron ring, probably don't have the state of mind.
Can't do that. On it.
Am I the only one who sees that?
Okay, it's here. It's here. First, let's level her up, I guess. Let's go for cooldown. Grant significant bonus to damage with magic staffs. Sure. Why not? Take the Chronicle. Another find. No matter how old I get, the smell of found parchment never ceases to get me going. Almanac of Azure 420-422. If the grain yields turn you on, I have some steamy reading for you. Minutes from the ardent peace accords of 1419. A snore even by my standards. What else? Oh, there's back to Azure years 423 to 426. That's odd. Fall silent, absorbed in the reading. Considering the unusual details in the other chronicles, let's give this a close read. My thoughts exactly. This seems wrong. Read here. Lantry tilts the tome towards you, pointing a message of text to his attention. That has hit his attention. See this page? Well, maybe don't bother with the whole thing, it's rather dense, but there's something fascinating. It's about House Varia and House Pelox having a two-span war over who owns some portion of what's now the southwestern Stone Sea. Notice something unusual? Captain Pelox turned to his troops, falcons raised high. Let us praise Queen Alanta for this bounty on our eve of battle, and though we slaughtered 2 goats in her name, let us slaughter 3 in reverence of Graven Asher, Archon of War. Let us become what we fear, invincible, indefatigable? What? I guess that means untiring, right? Indivisible. While numerous Tearsmen have claimed a lifelong fixation with Graven Asher, you have only ever heard Tearsmen speak such things when they are bowed before you, desperate to evade execution or conscription. While it is possible that a well-connected Tearsman knew of the Archon prior to the war, a noble invoking his name in pre-battle speech is highly improbable. So 2 tribes of Tearsmen have a fight, and then they invoke Graven Ash's name? That seems in error. Exactly, that feud happened by many accounts. But the way it's described here, it's nonsense. Tearsmen calling on Graven Ashes for favor before battle? Come on now, that would never have happened. Some fool around here didn't even bother to learn the name of a fearsome general waiting across the isthmus to invade. Can you tell when this was written? Was it penned back then, or is it more recent? Good question to ask. With a twirl of the hand, he produces a dry quill and scrapes the ink written along the chronicle margins. Minimal flaking of dark umber ink, probably not more than a few years old. Not encouraging. Well, you could correct it, and I think you should. You keep suggesting that, and given my duty to the true accounting of all things, it seems the right move. When we're back at the Spire, the record will be corrected. That's enough rumination for now. Let's be on our way. With any luck, we might find more of those Chronicle fragments.
I got it.
Yeah, how many... it doesn't even tell me how many there are. It just tells me which ones I found. So I found the one in Darkened Hollow and in the Abyss. But this goes to the Fractured Depths, and I have not found one here, so maybe there is one to be found.
Sorry, I can't.
Trinket stirs earth blood trapped in old walls from afar. Humans make useful tools.
Interesting.
Flee in shadow. Flee pure. Beast woman again. Taking 5 fingers. Felt nothing. Humans did not see Beast Woman's miss. Beast
I'm injured.
smells like defeat. Like coming death.
This is useless. I should try something else.
Oh, if I had an iron ring for every dumbass mistake of mine.
Wait, I did that? Nice!
On it.
A gaunt, bewildered-looking woman stands precariously against the edge of the cracked platform. She rubs her bleary eyes impatiently and glances in varied directions with a befuddled expression. Where was I supposed to go? Hello, do you know the way through here? She turns rapidly in your direction. Careful, that's a long drop. Yes, of course it is. I'm not some child about to tumble over with the breeze. She shuffles slightly as she speaks, brushing loose stones into the chasm below. I just need to find a way through. Are you lost? Clearly, I think. I came into a teleporter nearby, but can't remember the way forward. She points into the yawning chasm at her feet. I feel like I need to head downward. It somehow feels right. Her eyes shut tightly as she's engulfed by a massive yawn. Need to find my way down, and then I'm sure I'll be able to rest. Is that teleporter still working? Which teleporter? That one? No, don't be silly. I took the stone that operates it, so how could it be on? She chuckles softly. And there I was worried that I had lost my mind. I need that keystone. She presses the pouch too close to her chest. But what if the way I need to go is blocked, is back through that teleporter? I don't know the way down. It could be in any direction. There are stairs to the west. They may be what you're looking for. There are? Yes, that must be it. I need to go downward. Climbing certainly won't work. Thank you, stranger. I won't be needing this. Safeguard it for me. She reaches into a worn pouch and produces a keystone, dropping it into your hand. I'll just rest here for a moment before moving on. I must be going. She stares blankly, saying nothing.
Will do.
Okay, I think that's another fragment of the Chronicle. Right here. So that's pretty great. The rune shimmers in front of the wall, sustained by unknown magic. Learn the rune and incorporate it into your spells. Okay, so
right.
it was a sigil instead.
Huh. Look at that.
Will do.
Okay, I don't think there's anything that's left unexplored in this area. Although no, there must be, because those are fractured depths, right? Indeed. Yeah, and this is still active. I found one in the Darkened Hollow and the Abyss. So this is the last part of the Oldwalls that could have it somewhere. Yes, I did.
Sorry, I can't. Sorry, I can't.
Okay, there's a Chronicle here, which is already kind of cool. I found another one. This should be enlightening. Lantry smiles victoriously as he hefts a weighty parchment tome. Ledgers, so many ledgers. Did you know there was a threefold increase in meat expenditures at the Citadel in 424? No wonder I don't recall that year. Let's see here. Syllabus? Syllabi, plural. I suppose lesson plans are part of the historical record, my painful memories aside. Oh look, multiplication tables, the triangle proof, all there. All three. 4 of them? And what is this? What is Kairos' harem doing in the lesson plan? The term Kairos' harem has a wide variety of uses, none of which appear to be outright illegal to repeat. According to Bled and Mark, the harem is a condescending term for the thousands of people that became infatuated with the Overlord and offered their lives to the Archon strictly out of blind adoration or loyalty. Such recruits are said to be plucked from the harem. You also know it to be a mathematical problem used in part to teach clerks, census takers, and other stewards in geometric progression. The clerk must place a multi-week harem rotation involving outstandingly large number of consorts, slaves, and volunteers, each group progressively larger than the rest. The salacious nature of the world problem is, presumably, intended to help the lesson stick. Oh, I know that one. Imperial Champion Day 1, 3 top consorts the next day, then 9 conquered heirs, then 3 nights of 9 concubines each night, then 9 nights of 9 slaves each night. Simple. Yes, quite right. Assuming each clutch of mates increases by 3, you have it right. Wait, this is a learning thing? Just when I thought it was getting good. For the purposes of the exercise, Kairos will not mix and match types of lovers in bed, and the Overlord must be served an equal or increasing number of lovers each day. The solution involves a schedule that satisfies all stipulations. They teach it in the east of the Northern Empire as a thought problem for census takers and seneschals to learn geometric progression. The scandalous content is intended to keep the student religiously focused on the puzzle. Alright. Like how we remember kingdoms, phalanges, classes, orders, families, genera, and species. Kairos, please come over for group sex. Just take the first letters of each word in the phrase. Easy, right? Well, it's true. We were connoisseurs of any treatise. Never in all my years did we use many of these exercises in my actual lesson plans. I'm probably the biggest Kairos aficionado in all of the Vellum Citadel, and I can say with certainty that the elements of Kairosian math were not standard teaching. I see how minor that detail must seem, but it's a lie all the same. Well, you could correct it. Although, I guess, again, maybe this is a good question to ask. It seems worth asking if possibly the Chronicle is correct and you are wrong. A fair point. Field study occupies most of my life, and it has been, oh my, years since I was responsible for students. It may have been we changed how we teach things. It's not like the lesson plan never evolves. Quite the opposite. Well, if it is wrong, you could correct it. I thought you would suggest that. Trust me, I am already planning to next time we have a break in our travels. With various scrolls stacked in his bandolier, Lantry feigns collapse under the burden, then studies his balance with a smile.
We could continue scrounging the area, but considering the small mountain of parchment I'm carrying, I think we found all we're going to find.
Lantry runs his hand across one of the numerous Chronicle volumes found in your search.
I think I'd like to hear what Lekseme has to say about all of this. I was slow to accept it, but these changes are her doing. She owes me her reasoning.
And what you are hoping to hear from her?
An explanation, an apology maybe. I never expected a chronicler to behave like this.
Agreed, let's go. The old sage looks at you with a pained smile.
My thanks for entertaining this matter. I know it's all old parchment to you, but it feels like nearly half a century of obsession to me. Now, where were we? Ah, yes, ever onward.
I got it.
Okay, return to Lekseme. I will, but I'm concerned about this. Like, I'm very interested, actually, in seeing what's on this. This is inactive. It's almost as if maybe I could get there from another Darkened Hollow. The Abyss. Like, maybe I need another teleporter to sort of to step into, and it will bring me out over here.
Can't do that. Can't do that. Right. Found something. Can't do that.
There's another mural here as well, which is also promising. It's like a... Oh.
No.
Crap. That was stupid, especially because I knew it's here. I just... My mind blanked out for a moment because it's late. This seems like it's made out of like hand paintings. Ancient mural is painted onto the wall. As you approach the wall, what at first appeared to be a collection of haphazard stains seems on a close inspection a deliberate creation, a procession of handprints, all of them too large to be human, but just about the right size to those of beastmen, festoon the wall, though each is varied in its shape and features. Sniffing at the assemblage of paint, Kills in Shadow says nothing as she examines the contours of many hands, placing her own paw against the mural for comparison. The prints are all similar in style, a single color mark of palm, splayed and splayed fingers. There is considerable variety in the exact shapes and sizes of the handprints displayed. Examine the shapes. It soon becomes clear that nearly every print is distinguished from one another, some greatly so. Some prints sport bulbous palms, others rectangular, some fingers appear long and clawed, others stunted, a few even show signs of webbing between the digits, or joints that bend at odd angles. Compare the paint. You examine the prints, compare the paint on each print. You examine the prints individually, tracing your finger along the wall's surface to detect noteworthy changes in texture. After a few moments, you determine that there are two distinct types of print. The first appears to have been made with some sort of dark pigment that flakes off at the touch. Many of these pigment-painted prints have faded, some to where only the palm is visible. The other style appears to be more of an act of heat branding than paint, layered on the stone. Those charcoal black handprints are slightly recessed, as if the stone has melted from the imprinter's touch. From the corner of your eye, those prints seem to shimmer with the red and blue of the Bane, but on direct observation, the prints always have a matte black finish. Short of cataloging the specific detail, you feel confident that you've given the wall a thorough investigation. Fingers outstretched, Kills in Shadow places her right and left hand atop various prints, never finding a match to her own. After sizing her hand against a dozen others, she steps away and hunkers to her haunches in silence. What thinks Alpha to Kills in Shadow? The beast woman taps her talons against the stone floor in anticipation, her eyes scanning the mural intently. Well, perhaps it's showing a contrast between those who were touched by the Bane and those who weren't. Scent of Bane essence is very, very faint. Perhaps Ancient Beast Woman was poisoned by Bane? Perhaps Ancient Beast Woman painted with Bane essence in victory? With nothing further to examine, you give your eyes a rest and step away from the prints. As you turn away, Kills in Shadow sniffs at the ancient stone and paint a few more times before turning...
Fatebinder. Moment, please.
Hunkered before the mural, Kills in Shadow bows her head in contemplation, a single talon tapping against the painted Oldwalls. I'll give her a bit of time.
Paint Wall speaks of what Kills in Shadow already knows. Also speaks of what Kills in Shadow did not know.
And what was it that you already knew?
Knew that beasts reprend Bane since time before humans remember. Rivalry is old as old walls. Sees same rage and purpose in old paint walls that beast woman feels when hunt dreaming of Bane. Sees tribes of old not flee from rage. Tribe wore burden, grew strong.
This mural speaks to you, how so?
All of Paul's reminder that each tribe has distinction. Mantiborn have hands for swimming. Shadow hunters have fur to blend with night. Am now thinking, is each tribe's way of claiming Earthblood of land for best strength?
Where is this all going?
Does Fatebinder not see?
The beast woman emits a quiet, self-satisfied chuff as she lowers her posture. The edges of her fur and form begin to darken and blur, dimming from view. With each blink, the beast woman standing right before you seems to fall out of focus. Beast tribes often have magic akin to their surroundings. Perhaps your kind can draw from the Oldwalls as well.
Deep dark is heavy with mystic strength. Constant threat of bane opens eyes and ears. Makes kills in shadow eager, focused. Come, lead way to next weapon. Kills in shadow yearns for the hunter.
Infused Shadow's Renown ability, Drowned in Darkness. You've discovered an artifact. Artifacts are powerful magical items that when wielded grant their owner a new ability. Artifacts are known throughout the tiers and the greater empire beyond. As the artifact's reputation grows, its abilities become more powerful. So, what is your artifact? Infused Shadows. Crit deflection, hit deflection, grace deflection. And the artifact grows in renown, I assume, as she uses it, right? Kills in shadow calls on the darkness, to which she has grown so attuned, rating herself in it like a shoal. She re-enters stealth for a short duration before duration that scales based on the Drown in Darkness renown. The Veil of Night seems to infect the Shadow Hunter's every movement, or perhaps her motions ooze darkness. Her crimson eyes gleam more brightly in the night, and her shadows shift unevenly, stretching like a bored cat. Okay, cool, pretty nice. Although, like, I guess technically it's armor. Light armor nude. Okay. But that doesn't... I still don't know how to get to that last part. And I would very much like to. Okay, I don't really know how to get to that last place, so I might go back to Reef-Talon and Lekseme. Like, I guess going back to Lekseme in itself won't hurt, because it's not the main quest for the location to talk with her about the Chronicle. So I think I'll do that. Maybe it'll trigger something, because I'm at a bit of a loss how to get to that final mural. Well, tell me about yourself, because that question disappeared before. I am the least fascinating subject I can think of, but if you have questions, ask. How did you come from the Vellum Citadel to this place? I took it upon myself to record as much of the war for the Chronicle as possible. This quickly led me to the conclusion that the Vellum Citadel would fall in time, so I enlisted Mel in my plot to lug as much of the Chronicle out of the Citadel as we could. I knew of Rostrom Holdfast from my time chronicling the invasion of the Bastard Tier. I came thinking that I would use his manor as a place to stash our writing, and well, I discovered Cairn has shattered the fort, but in doing so, created a tunnel into the Oldwalls. With the war raging on the surface, it just never seemed like a good time to leave. What was your role among the sages? I am a willing victim to the impossible Chronicle endeavor, or the Chronicle as those outside of our school know it. I am to transcribe all that I witness in my lifetime with the highest precision, accuracy and comprehension available. More specifically, I have tried to focus on the events of the realms. While there is a place for drawing flowers and conducting biographies of lowly peasants, I leave such things to other chroniclers. Both Lekseme and I have spent decades contributing to the Chronicle. We even co-authored a few pieces back in the day. The Rye survey was by far the best. All of Terratus needed to know which distillery in Ardent made the strongest hooch. We do important work as sages. Why did you stay here in the Bastard Wound? At first, as part of me A part of me genuinely thought that the Oldwalls were safer than the war. When it was Reef-Talon, Wagstaff and Jaspers and the others working together, life in the Wound was actually quite pleasant. I won't lie, I've always dreamt of exploring the Oldwalls, and I'm getting in years, so it seemed like a fitting place for a scholar to write her final chapters. I'm curious about your sleepless condition. As am I. It is a curious malady, one that I only partially comprehend. As the name suggests, I haven't known sleep in several span. More troubling for me personally, my magic seems to have faded. I can sign the sigils with my hands, but no magic comes of my efforts. By your own admission, you seem out of sorts. Are you sure you aren't forgetting your sigils? Even the slightest deviations can disrupt proper casting. I was worried it was just that. With the lack of sleep, my mind seemed the obvious culprit. I had Mel read my old scrolls and walk me through the motions, still to no avail. I'm signing correctly, but when I tap into the archons of old, nothing comes out. Your magic, all of it's gone? Lantry's shoulders slump and as he shakes his head. Okay, he said that already. Did your missing magic happen around the same time as your insomnia? If I recall correctly, it was days after I was healed that I first noticed my magic not working as expected. It was a startling realization. I've relied on my magic for decades. Without it, I felt as defenseless as a newborn cub. Without your magic, how have you possibly survived down here with all of the Bane crawling about? You would think me lying, but I stand here as proof. For whatever reason, the Bane don't seem to notice me. I dare say, in all the time that I've been here, I haven't seen the Bane respond to any of the Sleepless. Could be that we are too wretched for even them to hunt. I hypothesize that Reef-Talon did to foul our... What? There is a word missing. It should be, I hypothesize that whatever Reef-Talon did to foul our minds, it made us toxic or unappetizing to the Bane. We are once tasty morsels now rolled in dung. So while I can't say for sure why it is, I can say that I've been here for weeks, a span, a very long time now, and the Bane have ignored me this whole time. How did you become one of the Sleepless? Same as all of us, by the healing power of Reef-Talon. It was when that group of disfavored found the place. I was injured in the fight, and since none of us yet knew the downside to Reef-Talon's magical touch, I of course allowed her to heal me. So, why did these Sleepless enter the Oldwalls? Not that we are all cogent enough to share our feelings, but I and the other Sleepless feel a little better when near to Reef-Talon than afar. She shrugs with an idle smile. None of us wanted to be a burden to the people above, and it just made sense to follow her down. Unfortunately, Reef-Talon can't seem to stand the sight of us in her grief. A shame. Is there a way to reverse your condition? Only Reef-Talon knows, or maybe Kairos. I vacillate between having optimism and pushing aside such painful daydreams. Her thoughts go silent as her face twists in discomfort. Hope can be a painful thing. I have the texts you wanted me to gather. Thank you, Fatebinder. She bows deeply, her face turning red as she looks towards Lantry. Lies, and the worst kind too. Falsity strewn about a bed of facts. Grains of poison in the rice. You aren't wrong, dear Lantry, but certainly you must understand my endgame. What purpose does the Chronicle serve now? Is it a reference? Joyous reading? I may have made a few edits, but I've created something that might save lives. Yeah, I disagree in principle, like, I get her to a degree, but I think it's wrong in principle. Because if you think it's all right to alter historical facts for political agenda, you might find yourself at a certain point at the other side of this, where people who you don't agree with alter it for reasons you don't agree with, and it actually, hurts people. And generally, I'm just a fan of truth. Like, I think truth has an inherent value. I believe that, recording the world as it is has an inherent value, and telling of the world as it is has an inherent value. I think truth is something worthwhile, and generally I don't agree with what she's trying to do. I think it's wrong. You've violated the way of the chroniclers. I doubt Lantry sees the value of pragmatism. Although, to be honest, let them hash it out among themselves for a bit. So you're justifying your lives now. This is not how proper sages behave. Tell the whole story, the good parts and the bad. Is that not our way? Our way ended with Kairos. Our school is gone, and I am but a pale shade of what I used to be. All that we can do with our record is maybe, just maybe, save some lives. If just one person was saved because Tunon's court had some record of tearsmen showing fealty to Kairos before the war came to pass, what if we saved lives? You would squander every prior act of academic discipline that came before you on a chance of exonerating someone? I am sad I lived to see this day. Yet, I agree with him. Besides, I think it's stupid, because I don't think it would even work. Because if she has written about some... for example, she has written about the family of Pelox, praising Graven Asher, right? But they don't know that she has written that, and it didn't actually happen. So I could very well envision situations in which Tunon is like, "Oh, you there, nobleman of the Pelox family, is it true that you worship Graven Asher?" And they, not knowing what she has written, are like, "What? What the fuck are you talking about? Of course not." So, yeah, this is dumb and wrong. If Lantry insists on an accurate record, I second him. But why cling to truths that will bury us all? If we are perceived as laughable but honest, let us use our reputation for honesty to save whomever we can. I know you haven't slept in ages, but have you forgotten how much truth matters to Lantry? No, I have not. If I knew he'd be here to lecture me on what I'm doing, I might have never tried this stunt. I'm as self-serving as it gets, and even I feel like this principle matters more than a few lives. Generations of sages toiled to make this record right and true. Would you truly squander their life efforts? You speak true, and I cannot do the same. She clasps her face in her hands, wiping away errant tears. If the others knew what I've been doing, what have I done? Thank you, Stanis Javert. I apologize for the deceit and half-truths, but by now you must understand my intentions are kind. Since you held your end of the bargain to preserve my texts, I submit now to your justice. She drops to one knee. My magic has left me. I have forgotten what it feels like to dream. Please, I think I wish to be free of my regrets. Well, your sentence is to keep living and learn more of your sleepless condition. Perhaps you could help others. I am sworn to the Fatebinder, but I will endeavor to return to you if and when I can. Forgive me, I had been readying myself for the end, but if my punishment is to live to help the other sleepless, well, I shall not defy such a merciful ruling. Thank you for everything. One last thing. She draws her dagger, gripping it by the blade, and presents its handle forward. I lack the magic to make it sing like it once did, and the Bane don't seem to attack me. Better you have this. You say it with such finality. Lantry blinks rapidly, before shaking off the sorrow with a pained smile. Such a treasured blade will be used in great deeds. Thank you, Lekseme. Okay, this replaces Chaos Blast and adds a number of possible effects. Afflicts him with a random effect. Okay, this is a pretty cool spell as it is, because it's an AoE, and it doesn't seem to harm my companions, which is also pretty great.
On it.
I don't know how to reach the final mural, so I think I will just talk with Reef-Talon and solve that part. It's time for you to return to the wound in one form or another. Humans will leave this place, nothing to discuss. Leave Reef-Talon to suffer with their withered kin. Let finding Reef-Talon fade from memory. Well, I'm not going to kill her. She seems a much better person than either Jaspos or Wagstaff. Return to the wound. You can be of help there, perhaps even lead the settlers. She rests back on her haunches and chuffs dismissively. Reef-Talon has already fouled packmates. Mending Right's closed rips and tears, but left empty husk in place of human kith. Wound Tribe no longer accepts Reef-Talon as alpha, or even Lodi Pack whelp. Fatebinder speaks empty words that cannot be fulfilled. You're only running because the sleepless remind you of your guilt. If I could help them find peace, would you return? A thoughtful rumble vibrates against the back of her throat. Mystic strength is source of dreamless corruption. Reef-Talon could keep power buried inside and focus on leading hunt for scourge beasts. Could still serve tribe. But dreamless broods cling to life. Hollowed husks always follow Reef-Talon. Steps stumble through dark holes and hunger for pack leaders' calls. No way to ease suffering of the sleepless except by death. But Reef-Talon will not kill feeble kith. Her bright eyes narrow in suspicion, finding yours in darkness. Is the Fatebinder suggesting... No, I'm not going to do it unless they ask me to. Because, you know, many of them are still cognizant enough that they can speak. So they could express the desire to die, in which case that would be euthanasia, which I am in favor of. But I am not going to kill them and pretend it's like best for them or whatever. I don't think I should have that power. If that's the only way, that's not an option. Human is foolish and cruel, should not bray and give voice to futile hope. Well, neither Wagstaff nor Jaspos can truly unite the people of the wound. Ocean Mystic Wagstaff and Stonecutter Jaspos roar loudly. Wound leaders imitate Alpha, but must sling slime boasts to scrounge respect of tribe. True Prima does not scrounge. True Prima already has respect. Was like that with Reef-Talon when she claimed Wound Tribe, but now packmates fear mending rights. Reef-Talon does not have respect needed to tame Wagstaff and Jaspers. The Beastmen still need you, regardless of what the humans think. Cannot return to the wound. Shame has not faded into distant memory. Dreamless husks would follow Reef-Talon back to tribe. Will only invite sorrow back into the nest. Okay, so I can't convince her. I'll be back. I guess I have to...
On it.
I have to look for, like, more reasons for him to... for her to come back. Still so vibrant, you will be like the rest of us in time, but do not fear, the emptiness is not all bad. I guess I'll be back to the village and just talk to people. Fatebinder? I am aware of the efforts to undermine the farming efforts. Whatever it is you think you're accusing me of, I assure you, I think you have a wrong man. Well... for now, just know that I'm watching you. I see. Well then. I will make sure that whatever isn't happening ceases to not happen anymore. Can't I talk to you about... So about this matter of Reef-Talon. You want to use her blood as a purifying agent, but you mentioned her healing power corrupted people. Are you sure this will work? Confident but not certain. You raise a valid concern, but I have used Reef-Talon's blood in the earliest iterations of my purifying agent. If her blood was problematic, we would have found that out already the hard way. I'll think about it. And by think about it, I mean I'm not going to do it, but I don't know how to convince her to go back. Which is what I would most like to do. Because she strikes me as simply a better person between the three of them. You have returned. Like maybe I have to kill them both and then tell her, you know, because then she would be uncontested, and sure, it would feel a bit bad doing that, but not as bad as you might think, because they are both psychopaths. Also, where's the guy that was here, Convos or whatever? Fled to the Oldwalls, fearing backlash. Do you have a moment? Yes, I do, actually. Though she looked directly at you a moment earlier, the Forgebound's gaze appears now unfocused and soft, fixated upon nothing in particular. Your footsteps break her silent reverie. She returns to the present with a quick shake of her head. Oh, Fatebinder, sorry, I am easily distracted these days, it seems. Anything in particular you wanted to discuss? Well, you wanted to talk to me. What did you want to talk to me about? I hope I'm not troubling you over nothing. Insipid moniker is Wagstaff's prime lackey or apprentice, depending on your perspective. She's been heading into the Oldwalls in the dead of night, every night. I would have dismissed it all, were it not for the fact that she has taken Woundkin with her on occasion, none of which have returned. How did you discover this? I have been really into my work lately, lost the chisel I guess, and finding myself up when most of the wound is asleep. Lost in the chisel I guess, and finding myself up when most of the wound is asleep. Not every task needs a workbench, so I take my chert and I take my grit and I go for a stroll. I see Insipid moniker. If it were just one night, I see her do this, but I'll look into this. Insipid moniker usually makes her run at this very hour. If you head just east of the settlement entrance, you'll find the southernmost teleporter in the wound. She'll likely be there tonight. Yeah, my point is, my money is on
Sorry,
her.
I can't.
On her killing the beastmen to steal their blood, because that would be sort of in line with my expectations for what Wagstaff is doing. And you know, maybe if I expose both him and Jaspos for being freaking psychopaths, that would convince Reef-Talon to come back. This path is blocked by a magical barrier of fire. The air shimmers with heat, a border of flickering arcane fire making an impassable barrier that prevents access to the Oldwalls beyond. Erected a barrier, blocking you from following her.
On it.
Also, where did that Tons guy go? That goes to the farm. There was a particular teleporter somewhere that specifically... Because I do want to speak to him as well. I traced her path but was blocked by a magical flaming barrier. I heard Wagstaff is teaching her magic, but no way she could, well, not by herself. Fire makes me think of blood chanters. Maybe she liberated something from an old chorus rival, or she figured out a way to control an Oldwall's trap, but to my limited knowledge, those traps don't use fire but some other arcane energy. If you're short on ideas, you could always speak with the prisoner, Telesofia. She sees everything from her perch, and most everyone talks to her at some point during the day, so maybe she's seen something or heard something that could point you in the right direction. Is Wagstaff still not speaking to me? I mean, Jaspos?
Sorry,
leave me be,
I can't.
Fatebinder. Okay. But, how to find the Tons guy? Like, I have a faint recollection you needed to use a teleporter, Darkened Hollow. Okay, I guess let's talk to this favored first. looking for information you may have. She glances downward and contemplates quietly before speaking up. Information is one thing I can offer. Oh, she wants me to kill... what's his name? I kinda don't want to do that though. Information is one thing I can offer while trapped here. I'm sure you're looking for something important. I'm looking to do something important. If you can help me write an injustice, I'll tell you whatever it is you wish to know. I'm listening. You may have noticed an Earthshaker wandering about this place. That's Argon, and he betrayed me the same way Cairn turned on his allies. The coward surrendered the moment blades were drawn. Now he spends his time coveting with Yaspos, lost in mystic foreplay with that fool who ought to be forging proper war iron, not polishing rocks. Cairn's rogue disciples were to be destroyed, yet I've got no way to satisfy that order, short of strangling him with my legs, so I'm asking you for help. Give him the justice he deserves, then I'll tell you whatever you want to know. I'll think about it. And by think about it, I think I'm going not to do this. I've got all the time in the tears, Fatebinder. Think about it for as long as you want. Because that's the only option, right, for information? Yeah. I will talk to him.
Can't do that.
Maybe he will offer some kind of a solution. Okay, I'll consider this, but I'm looking at the timer and this episode has been long enough, so I'll consider it next time, because it's also very late and my voice, I feel like, is probably becoming a little slurred on account of being tired. So like sometimes when I play really late at night, obviously English is not my first language, so I start to lose words sometimes, because obviously, even though I'm quite proud of my command of the English language, it is not my first language, so sometimes I have to, like, you know, actually think about what I want to say, and the more tired I am, the more difficult it is sometimes for me to find the proper words. So I think I'm going to just save here, and I'll consider what to do next time. For now, that's all for this one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!